Welcome to the Fast Mode podcast series. I'm Tara Neil, and with me today is Jonathan Kwan, Product Line Manager for AI/ML Network Software Solutions at Fujitsu Network Communications. Fujitsu Network Communications is a leading provider of digital transformation solutions for network operators, service providers, and content providers worldwide. The company combines best-in-class hardware, software, and services with open networking expertise to enable cost savings, faster services delivery, and improved network performance. Jonathan is an adjunct professor in the Department of Electrical and Software Engineering at the University of Calgary and the editor-in-chief at APH Networks. He is extensively involved in product planning and design, customer engagement and corporate strategy, research in wireless networking and machine learning, teaching engineering in university, and assessing the latest technology in his various roles. Jonathan joins us as part of our exclusive editorial segment on generative AI for network management. Welcome, Jonathan. Great to have you on today's episode.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's dive right in. Looking at telcos, right? For CSPs, what does AIOps look like in practice? Can you give us a quick overview?
For sure. So I think for communication service providers, AI ops is becoming the evolutionary juggernaut of network transformation in practice. And if we want to see how it will be like in practice, we will have to look at two things. What does AI ops do, and when will we see this? First, I believe AI ops will extend across a full range of network operations to predict and prevent problems before they occur. And should they ever occur, it should rapidly uncover the root cause for fast service recovery. And this will happen as deployment scale and performance and quality demand increases. Now, of course, the current challenge is variants of AI technology promises really broadly stated value adds, like reducing complexity and boosting operational efficiency. And when it comes to AI ops, is to really cut through all this hype and to focus on real and achievable benefits. And we have to really balance it against things such as time, effort, and cost of implementation. And as I said earlier, there's two aspects. So we have to look at when we will see this as well. And I think it will vary from operator to operator, depending on their specific goals and constraints. To me, there is really little doubt that CSPs are transitioning into AI. And this means typically starting out with simpler repetitive tasks. And this is a necessity in today's market for remaining competitive. And implementation is a long-term process. Ultimately, I think when we look at AI ops, it's the resultant ability to predict and prevent will be worth the investment. And eventually, AI ops will be the foundation of network operations for CSPs in practice. And of course, the secret to success is understanding the cost-benefit relationship and thoughtfully prepare to overcome any implementation challenges.
So like for CSPs, right? Which area do they go first with AI ops? Is it like security or traffic management, revenue assurance? Is there a specific area that focuses on AI ops more than others?
I would say it's mainly related to network operations. And the reason is because when it comes to CSPs, there's really two things. It's business. How do we save money or how do we improve revenue? And I think that when it comes to the first line implementation of AI ops, we have to cover these two areas.
Okay, awesome. So now I think, we want to talk about the next biggest thing in AI, which is obviously generative AI, right? Using things like LLMs and ChatGPT and so forth. So how has that reshaped the AI ops landscape? And what new, use cases, possibilities that have emerged?
For sure. I I really believe LLMs are opening an entire new realm of possibilities for CSPs. The integration of LLMs is needed to complement traditional AI models for recovery and predictive failure warnings for proactive maintenance. And and the reason why this is so important is because customer service expectations have evolved a lot in recent years, and service requirements are much more dynamic than it was in the past. Network operators don't have the luxury anymore to wait for something to break and then fixing it. And instead, they must find ways to predict problems and taking evasive rather than corrective action. And this is really important to prevent service disruption from occurring at all. And if there is a service disruption, there's a risk of customer churn and damage to the operator's reputation. And we see this in so many examples in the news. And the chances of customer churn actually exponentially increases with the number of service disruption. So ultimately, the new possibilities unlocked by LLMs to CSPs for recovery and predictive failure warnings for proactive maintenance is reshaping the AIOps landscape. It strongly aligns with customer demands, offers an unbelievably strong business case to CSPs.
So does it mean that you take a traditional AI ops solution and then you add the LLM component to it, which enables the regular user to actually ping the model and learn a lot more, do a lot more analysis, run a lot more predictions? Is that what it is eventually, or is there a lot more like a very native Gen AI features that are going to be built into these solutions?
Yeah, so I think there's really looking into what toolbox items we have to solve real world problems. And my favorite analogy that I always like to give is anybody can go to a home improvement store and buy a drill or a hammer or some of these tools, but it doesn't really mean that anybody can come up and just build a house magically. We have to look
Yes.
at what's expertise that are there, what problems are there to solve, and how do we best utilize these tools, whether it's traditional AI or LLMs, to approach the problems that we face today. So really, I think that as you mentioned, we have to look at what problems they're solving and then bring these tools together to look at these real world problems and then solving it in very practical manners.
Wow, that's very interesting. So beyond generative AI, right? Are there any other recent developments that are also driving AI ops?
I think AI ops development and adoption is actually a really, really broad topic. And as you said, certainly I think technology itself, such as Gen AI, plays a massive role in driving the adoption of AI ops. But besides technology, I think there are also other developments that are critical factors in driving AI ops adoption for CSPs. And when I look at the market, here's some of these factors that I've seen is firstly, advancements in data collection. And we need good data to produce
Yep.
good AI results. So, how do we improve our data collection and data harmonization? And we need well proven solutions in the telecom space with specific domain knowledge to improve this process. Another factor I see is improvements in AI decision making and validation to ensure outcomes. And we need to ensure that these outcomes are um, comprehensible. It needs to be accurate. It needs to be appropriately contextualized. It shouldn't be biased in any way, and it's also useful and practicable. And another thing that I think there's developments that needs to be had is regulatory frameworks. So I think this is an aspect that often is overlooked when we look in the tech realm. And the reason why this is important is because we need to guide reliable data governance, validation criteria, and security measures. And we also need to understand business cases. Ultimately, I think, as I said earlier, when we look at technology development, it needs to be complemented by a whole lot of different things. And understanding business cases to support it is important because AI tools and their integration carries I would say, a pretty significant price tag. And the ROI and timescales are there's a challenge to assess what
Yeah.
exactly ROI timescales are,
Mm-hmm.
and the need to source things like skilled professionals, the software required and the infrastructure required needs to be balanced against OpEx savings from eliminating repetitive and redundant tasks. And
Mm-hmm.
operators also need to explore lower cost compute resources and energy efficiency techniques, such as those actually enabled by AI. And of
Yeah.
course, we also need to identify the skills gap and adjust operation structure towards AI goals. And this is vital to successful implementation and maintenance of AIOps tools. And
Mm-hmm.
adapting AI to function within the telecommunications and communication network
Mm-hmm.
environment will require really focused effort,
Mm-hmm.
especially if we're coming from brownfield networks. So, all in all, I believe that in addition to technology itself, like Gen AI, which is very innovative, very powerful,
Mm-hmm.
the factors I mentioned, I think I mentioned five factors, are really, really important developments in driving AI ops adoption.
Mm-hmm. Wow, awesome. So I was just wondering, you guys, with your AI ops solutions, you would have like developed really advanced models, and these models would mature over time as you train on more data and stuff. So do you bring the same models to every other CSP, or do you train again with their data, with their specific data, so that you can create more accurate models that are tailored to their environments?
Yeah, so speaking on Fujitsu in terms of how we develop our AI model, so first and foremost, we actually highly respect the intellectual property of all the customers that we work with. So we don't take customer A's data to train customer B's model. We ensure
Mm-hmm.
that our foundational technology is the same because these are things that
Mm-hmm.
Fujitsu has developed as our
Mm-hmm.
proprietary technology, and we believe that this is some of the best technology that we're having in the field, and
Mm-hmm.
and we also acknowledge that when we come to customers, that every customers have different needs and different infrastructure, different developments, different um, just everyone's unique in their own way.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
believe in developing tailored solution for our customers and ensuring that our core technology, our software that has baked in telecoms knowledge, complement the specific requirements of the
Mm-hmm.
customers while respecting that customers want to have their data on their network and is not used to train their competitors or anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So, what are your exact solutions for CSPs? Do you have a suite that CSPs can just take and run with it?
Yeah, so we actually at Fujitsu have two really innovative solutions to empower CSPs to deploy and manage AI-driven network operations. The first solution is a software called Virtual AX Accelerated Root Cause Analysis,
Mm-hmm.
or ARCA. So
Mm-hmm.
ARCA is a conventional AI network software that uses neural networks to rapidly pinpoint the root cause within overwhelming alarm storms. And we like to refer to this as a AI in a box package, ready to deliver root cause analysis with multi-vendor network-centric machine learning, network domain and event knowledge baked in, as I said earlier, as part of our core technology, and it uses neural networks for automation and scale.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it requires minimal AI experience, and this kind of is connected to what I said earlier about the need to um, really complement the CSPs and their expertise required to implementation because it's often expensive to implement AI technology. And also, it's cloud enabled, which lowers barriers to entry. And another special thing that we believe is very unique in our product is it requires no network topology input, it just requires fault data. It supports multi vendor, multi layer networks. And what I see here is I actually got some stats for you is when implemented with a tier one service provider, we're able to achieve a 99% alarm suppression rate and
Mm-hmm.
identify the root cause within minutes of it occurring. And
Mm-hmm.
we actually looked at the exact same problem with the tier one service provider. Without ARCA, it actually took over 29 hours to get to that root cause. So that's the
Wow.
first product that we have. It's called Accelerated Root Cause Analysis or Virtua
Mm-hmm.
AX ARCA. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we talked a lot about LLMs. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit about LLM here, is that we have another solution called Fujitsu Network Coach. And that is actually a generative AI network software tool. And it uses large language models to analyze everything from PCAP log files, JIRA tickets, user manuals, 3GPP specifications, and ORAN specifications. And the wonderful thing about Fujitsu Network Coach is it can identify signatures in log files. It can map signature to issues, and then it uses signatures and issues mapping to perform root cause analysis and identify and locate the root causes of issues in the network. And this will result in faster issue resolution, higher productivity, lower operational expenditure. And we at Fujitsu are really, really excited about our virtual AX, ARCA, and network coach solutions because we believe that these are truly the best tools in the industry, thanks to our commitment to open standards, vendor agnostic support, and built-in specific telecoms knowledge baked into all that we build.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So are there a lot of deployments in the pipeline for this year?
We are working with quite a number of service providers. And you guys, I think we will be able to see some of these press releases coming
Yes,
in
waiting
2025.
for it. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's been really a great session, and that brings us to the end of it. So thank you, Jonathan, for your time, for sharing all these insights on AI ops and also all the great work that Fujitsu is doing in this space.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, awesome. And to everyone tuning in, thank you for listening. If you guys want to learn more, visit us.fujitsu.com/telecoms and follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you in our next session. Bye-bye.